Hi everyone, as we head into the new year, I wanted to mention a few taxes will come into effect starting January 1st, 2023. These new legislative measures are from the municipal and federal level. The first is the Toronto Vacant Housing Tax. If you're a homeowner, you've probably already received the declaration in the mail. A property is considered vacant if it has been unoccupied for more than 6 months during the previous calendar year. This affects all residential property owners in Toronto. Failure to submit the declaration will result in property being deemed vacant and subject to the tax. Principal residences may be left unoccupied for periods of up to a total of 6 months throughout the taxation year without being subject to the tax. For residential properties that are occupied but not by the homeowners, owners are required to submit information about tenants and/or permitted occupants when making the declaration. This is an annual tax levied on vacant Toronto residences, payable at the beginning of 2023, but pertains to the preceding calendar year. Homeowners will need to provide a declaration each year to the City of Toronto to confirm its use in that year. For example, the deadline to declare a property's 2022 occupancy status is February 2nd, 2023. Owners of properties subject to the tax will be issued a vacant home tax notice in March-April, and payment will be due on May the 1st. The vacant home tax calculation is 1% of the current value assessment. For example, if the CVA of your property is $1 million, the tax amount billed would be $10,000, 1% times $1 million. Failure to declare or making false declaration may result in a fine of $250 to $10,000. Some exemptions include death of owner resulting in property being vacant for 6+ months of the past year, repairs or renovations with conditions, principal resident was moved to long-term care, owner lives outside of GTA and requires the property for employment purposes for at least 6 months of the year, and etc. Note all exemptions require proof to be submitted with the declaration. The next two legislations are on the federal level. The foreign buyer ban is a 2-year ban against foreigners from purchasing property in Canada, including purchases made through corporations, trusts, or other legal entities. Foreigners means those who do not hold Canadian citizenship or permanent residency status. Regulations are still to be finalized and issued. Residential properties are affected, including those that are houses and condos, except for properties that contain more than 4 dwelling units, such as fourplexes and apartment buildings with 4+ units. Unknown whether seasonal properties are impacted. Exceptions are temporary residents under the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act who meet certain conditions, refugees, spouses of Canadians, or PRs. There's also the federal government's residential property flipping tax, intended to be in effect in January 2023. This tax applies to anyone who sells a property that they have owned for less than 12 months. They'd be deemed to have flipped the house and have the profits taxed as business income. The transaction may be subject to HST. This applies to assignment transactions as well. For pre-construction sales, the rule requires holding the property for 1 year following final closing. There are certain exemptions, including death of owner or related person, growth of family unit, example newborn baby, breakdown of marriage as long as living separately for at least 90 days prior to the sale, threat to personal safety, example domestic violence, owner suffering serious illness or disability, relocations for work must meet certain criteria, and etc. Please reach out if you have any questions about any of these changes. Thanks so much for watching. Wishing you and your family a happy, healthy, and wonderful year ahead. Bye for now.